She acted like she wanted to be my friend, like she had my back. But in reality, she was setting me up the whole time. Hey rock bottom survivalists, and welcome back to my channel. I have an epic betrayal story time for you, so let's dive right in. So this setup involves a person that's also a tenant in the shelter, but she lives on a different floor as me. For the purpose of the story time, we'll refer to her as Scummy. Scummy is a very calculating, evil, and demonic entity. I cannot even consider someone like that human, as she has zero remorse for the things she does, and it's like a thrill to her. I wish someone had warned me about her. Scummy appears to be a nice older lady. She's older than me, probably old enough to be my mom. Scummy would give what seemed to be great advice. I thought Scummy was trying to be friends with me and my friend Rose, because I have never seen her hang out with anyone. Additionally, she would talk to Rose and I when we would chill outside. However, even though she appeared to be nice, my gut just had a constant nagging feeling when she was around. However, I ignored my gut feeling, which I later regretted. Scummy was enthusiastic about an incident that happened between another tenant and I, because it was her not so helpful advice that kind of even started the incident. However, the incident with the other individual was a long time coming, because she had a problem with me the moment she see me. Probably a miserable, washed up old lady waiting to die. Little did I know Scummy was very happy that she was able to create this chaos. Then Scummy proceeded to tell me how the miserable old lady had done her wrong and other people wrong, so good for her. Which, this is the truth, the miserable old lady had it coming. Then Scummy and I started talking more after this situation. Scummy used this as an opportunity to set up her real plan. Scummy would always invite me to chill in her room, but I wouldn't go because of my gut feeling. Then during the Christmas holidays, Scummy had asked me what room number I'm in. I asked, why? And she said, oh, I just want to add you to my Christmas card list. So it seemed like a harmless situation, and I told her. And some days afterwards, she brought a Christmas card under my door. And I saw her later on and said, thank you. And then she said, oh, I just love the holidays. And she said, I'm going to write you a note to invite you over for some coffee and cake. The type of cake is what comes out around Christmas time. I don't remember the name. Then a day or so after, she wrote the invite to go to her place. However, I just had a procedure done that day and couldn't go. So she said, so I saw her at lunchtime and told her I wouldn't be able to go. And then Scummy said, okay, then Saturday it is at 6:30 p.m. Then I said, fine, okay. I finally gave in because she kept asking and I felt pity for her. Little did I know this was all leading to her epic setup. The signs. Saturday came on by, and my gut and anxiety got worse about going to Scummy's room. However, I brushed it off as me being afraid of meeting new people. Then I ended up ordering some nice desserts to go with the coffee and cake to bring with me to Scummy's at 6:30 p.m. As it approached, I gave some extra time in case she had to fix up her place. Then I went. Scummy was a great hostess. She made me laugh and was asking me stuff about the other tenants here to try and pick my brain to see what she could use as conversation starters. So with the miserable old lady, Scummy told me that miserable old lady pushed her while she was defending someone over the TV room. So that part seemed believable because miserable old lady is always in the TV room and acts like she owns it. However, this is where the first major red flag, ding ding ding, popped out. Miserable old lady has a walker and needs it at all times. How would it be possible for miserable old lady to push Scummy? So I was asking Scummy, how did she do that? Was this before she had the walker? And Scummy's like, yeah. Then Scummy told me about another lady on my floor that I do not like, as Scummy used to live on my floor. We will call that one upper. Scummy told me that one upper stole from her. I was like, really? She doesn't seem like that type. She's too arrogant to be like that. Then, when I proceeded to ask more questions, Scummy quickly changed the topic and said, "Oh, I just love the holidays." Then Scummy said she had to pee, so I said I had to go too because I had a very bad feeling about being in her room by myself. So she said, "Let's go to the big bathroom." I took a few seconds longer as I was putting on my shoes, and I was in pain. However, she was not in the big bathroom. She went to another one. However, I made sure I took my sweet time so she would arrive back to her room by the time I would get back. So by the time I got back, she was already in there. Then we continued the evening, drinking coffee, eating desserts and cake. And then I had to leave because my pain became unbearable and I was about to cry. And I don't want to cry in front of anybody, especially Scummy. So I thanked her for the great evening and left. Then this is when the betrayal was beginning. After that day I left Scammy's, she started acting very strange. My neighbors were acting very strange. They were even watching me throw out my garbage and just doing other weird things. I thought I was going crazy. I just thought the people around here were weird around the holidays. Scummy was not talking to me or saying hello anymore. Scummy started hanging out with some other lady whose friend just died that she never used to hang out with before. I thought Scummy was just one of those people that when she's hanging out with someone new, she doesn't talk to you. I just thought she was weird anyway, so I didn't really care. Just thought of it to be strange and had a bad gut feeling still. Then a few weeks later, on New Year's, well, technically I got the note the second. Then she said how I stole 15,000 from her room when she went to the bathroom and left me alone in her room and she got staff involved. I thought she was trying to extort me or something. So I ripped up the letter and threw it out because I wasn't going to have this grimy entity start off my New Year's like that. The next day, I was leaving my room to go outside for some fresh air. I was approached by two big police officers asking if I'm so and so. I asked why, and then one of them said, "Yeah, that's her." I was very confused as this was the morning and I completely forgot about the letter from the day prior. So they told me that they were here in regards to a theft that occurred. So I'm like, me? So I was in such shock that I did not hear what amount she accused me of at the time. She didn't even know what date this occurred. I had to tell them the date that I went over to her place. And then they asked if I was ever in her room alone. And I said for like 2 seconds when I put my shoes on. And then I said to them, it took her 2 weeks to come up with this, but it was actually 3. Then I told them that I seen her around. Why wouldn't she say anything to me? Like, why wouldn't she come to my door or say anything? She never said anything to me. This doesn't make any sense. Like, I was going crazy. Then they realized I was in genuine shock and confused. Then I asked them if I'd be able to make a report against her for false allegations. They said after they were done their investigation, I could. I was unable to because they never proceeded with her report against me. So, um, so the case ended up being closed. And then Scummy, the calculating, cunning, evil, and demonic entity, had my neighbors turn against me and watch my every move. Even had one upper acting like a hall monitor when I'd leave my room. Could have gotten me arrested for something that never even occurred and for some make believe stuff just because she could. I did absolutely nothing to this woman. My two guesses why is she was either trying to pull a scam or trying to get me kicked out or both. Scummy told me that miserable old lady spoke to her and they were apparently seen talking together. So this may have been a plan to get me kicked out for no valid reason. When I had just arrived, I said hello to miserable old lady, and the way she responded, I knew she was going to be a problem. So, the aftermath. I had people watch me and look at me funny for a while, the haters and gossipers mainly. Then I had people who still have sense talk to me normally and make small talk like, hey, how are you, like we normally would. I acted as my normal self because I did nothing wrong. I did not hide away because at the end of the day, I know who I am and I know I'm not that type of person. What people think about me is none of my business. I ended up calling the police afterwards because my family and friends were asking what amount or what exactly did she accuse me of stealing. So then, several weeks later, I was finally able to get a hold of the detective in charge of the case. And Scummy had told them that I stole between $14,000 and $16,000, like it's a cash register or something. Like, if this is your savings, how would you not have an exact amount and it keeps changing? Like, it doesn't make sense. If it was the truth, you would know, right? And why would you be in a shelter? Then finally, someone I chilled with told me that she knew about the situation the whole time, but didn't tell me sooner because of my procedure and didn't want to stress me out about some make believe imaginary fairy tales. So basically, I learned that if anyone comes to you trying too nicely, so if anyone comes to you too nicely and tries to be your friend, do not feel pity for them. They may have something way more sinister in store. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye. Change to scum it. Scummy change to scum it.